Hello, everyone. This is Shirley Young, and welcome to Build a Wealth Strategy and Mindset Expert Talk Series, where we're going to talk about, you guessed it, discover proven strategy to build wealth, pay off debt, and live more fully. I'm excited to have today's guest here with us. A few weeks ago, I saw Janis online and read her story and journey, in which she talks about her struggle with weight issues and how she came to the realization of having inner peace with maintaining a person's ideal weight with grace and ease, and to love themselves unconditionally. It's such a powerful message that when I was putting this series together, I thought it would be great to have Janis on to talk about this topic of the weight of money, because so many people in our society today are facing weight issues which can hinder their wealth-building mindset. Just to give a little background of Janis, Janis is an ontological coaching expert in weight and money. In other words, she helps people uncover their subconscious beliefs, perspectives, and ways we sabotage ourselves. In today's talk, we will understand how stress and finances affect weight gain, learn how excess weight impacts your finances, and learn 3 secrets to melt away debt, fat, and stress, so you can begin to experience financial and physical health and wellness and immediately. And you will see how couples can help or hinder progress in these areas. So welcome again, Janis. You are an ontological and facilitative coach. What do these terms mean, and why are they powerful modalities when used together?
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me, Shirley. I'm excited to be here and to share this with all of your listeners. So ontological and facilitative are 2 words that we use in coaching. There's a third one also called consulting, which is where you're the expert. But in coaching itself, facilitative coaching means that people talk about the process, like what do we do to get from here to our goal? What do we practice? What's the step-by-step? In other words, how to? What's the action plan? That's what facilitative means. Ontological is what you mentioned a few minutes ago in my introduction. It's actually about the unconscious and the conscious sabotage patterns that have to do with our perspectives and our beliefs. It's like what gets in our way. It's the being of the human being. So ontology really means the science or the study of being. So when we're working on our goals, both of these are very important to use together. Let me give you an example regarding, for instance, weight loss. If you just do the facilitative part, you go on a diet, you exercise, you have an accountability partner, you're tracking what you eat, all of that is facilitative. But then it's midnight and you're eating the whole chocolate cake anyway? Well, what's going on with that? That depends upon the ontological part. And so when you put them both together, then you have a very, very powerful way of uncovering what's really at the core of things, and then you can do something about it. With money, it's the same thing. Let's say that you decided to put yourself on a budget, you wanted to pay off all your debt, and you had a particular payoff plan, and then you went out shopping on Black Friday and spent, $1,000 on whatever it was. Why did you do that? You already had the facilitative stuff in operation, so why did you blow your budget? Well, that's the ontological piece.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the problems that you see in your weight of money clients when it comes to this?
Oh, boy. Well, blowing your budget, of course, is one thing. But have you or maybe any of your clients or any of your listeners perhaps had any of these problems? Maybe stress eating, maybe too much debt, or not earning what you deserve or what you need, or maybe you earn plenty of money, but you don't get to keep all of it because it goes out the door as fast as you make it. Well, the financial worries are the number one cause of stress in our land today. And, many parts of the world have this going on. Financial worries, causing stress is the first thing, and then stress is the primary cause of physical and emotional dis-ease, including heart disease, cancer, high blood pressure, inflammatory illnesses, anxiety, depression, weight gain. And so these problems are related. It's all about the stress, and it's all about the stress being related to money.
Yes, no, it's very true. I mean, even I myself have experienced spending binge. And so I can totally relate to that. So what are the links between money and weight?
Oh, I love this question. Thank you for asking it. So there are actually two relationships that I'll talk to you about. It's how does financial stress affect the weight, and how does weight affect the financial stress. And the reason that I know this, I'm an expert coach in the areas of wealth, weight, and leadership. And I actually do a certification and training program to help coaches learn how to be weight loss coaches and how to build their businesses. So I see this all the time, Shirley, where the money and the weight are related. So from personal observation, in both the corporate world as well as the entrepreneurial world, I've noticed this correlation between financial success and increased weight. It's hypothetically because of increased stress. So in other words, I was a Mary Kay Senior Sales Director for many, many years, and I saw all of my colleagues as they got more successful in their businesses, they started putting on weight because there were more stresses that went along with their increased success. By the same token, when a business fails or when finances are in jeopardy, then the stress and the weight can also go up, again, because of, all the stress that goes along with a failing business or with a struggling business. So there's a mental and emotional and a physical as well as the psychological connection between the stress of money and leading into weight. Let me say also that a lot of times people who do not gain weight, they might actually lose weight because they stop eating when they're under stress. And so it's all the same problem. It just manifests itself in a different way. I wanted to share with you a couple of studies that I've read about. There was a German study that said that women who weighed 25 pounds less than average earned an average of $15,000 more, and women who weighed 25 pounds or more than normal made $13,000, and this is U.S. Dollars I'm talking about. And so basically it means that overweight women make an average of $30,000 less than a skinny one. And there's there are other types of correlations between the weight and the money in the studies that they've done. It has to do also not only with direct costs like health care costs and absenteeism with overweight women having less money, but also indirect costs like not getting raises because of prejudice, or also lowered confidence, like overweight women don't have as much confidence, so maybe they won't go after that raise, or they won't go after those new clients, or whatever that might be. And so both directly and indirectly, we're seeing this link between weight and money.
Yeah, no, that's a very interesting study. As you mentioned, weight and money. Well, which do you focus first usually? Do you overcome the weight first and then, or you work together?
That is such a great question. And the answer is how we do one thing is how we do everything. So it's actually, if we're addressing the ontological, which is the psychological components, if we make progress in the weight area, we will also make progress in the wealth area. And a lot of my ontological weight loss clients have found that as they dropped weight, their confidence improved and their income improved. And by the same token, the ladies or the gentlemen who have been in my Weight of Money programs, as their wealth and their ability to keep their money and manage their money improved, they also dropped weight. Isn't that interesting?
That is. And also when I was reading, it's about loving yourself, and that's also building that confidence level too.
Yes.
Probably. And accepting your own weight for what it is. And
definitely.
Again, I think that makes a difference in terms of the income. And you know, when you have confidence, you obviously will feel confident in going after things that you normally may not, and you don't have the confidence.
Exactly.
You are sharing 3 secrets with us today, and that is to melt away debt, fat, and stress. So what is the first secret?
Well, I will tell you. The first secret, and actually all the 3 breakthrough secrets today, they're all taken from my Weight of Money breakthrough program. And so this is sort of a little excerpt from what I teach my actual clients. So I'm really happy to share these with you today. The first secret is called clearing the money clutter. And as I mentioned a minute ago, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Well, how you do money is how you do everything also, including food. So, for instance, with money, do you hoard it? Do you sneak it? Do you binge? In other words, do you spend like as a binge shopping? Do you deprive yourself? In other words, do you sacrifice? Do you spend emotionally? The same questions we could ask about weight. Do you hoard food, sneak food, binge on food, deprive yourself, or eat emotionally? So financial worry, as I mentioned before, is a major contributor to stress, and stress is a major contributor to excess weight and to having poor financial health. So cleaning up the money clutter can really help people to de-stress and to become healthier and also release some excess weight as a possible side effect. So you want your money to expand and grow. You don't want your waistline to expand and grow. Anything that contracts the money will block that flow of money into your life and cause stress. So it's really imperative in this first secret that we create a space and an energy of expansion with regard to our money. So our goal here is to get rid of our money clutter, and just even if you just do a 1% increase daily, that will change your behavior. And let me tell you what some examples of money clutter are.
Yes.
For instance, not being clear on who owes you money, or not following up with who owes you money, or not being clear who you owe money to, or you know, having a plan for paying it back. A disorganization of bills, for instance, or unused gift cards that might be unused or lost. There are quite a few examples of how we can start clearing up our money clutter immediately. And at the end of the hour, Shirley, I know we'll be talking about the Clearing Your Money Clutter checklist and how all of our listeners can get that for free. But this is exactly what the secret is. It's when your money is cluttered, maybe your wallet has all kinds of papers and torn up stuff, and you know the money's hidden different places, like in your coat pockets or something like that. Those are all examples of money clutter that when we start clearing it up right away, we create the spaciousness for attracting more wealth in. It's a more of an expanded view of wealth.
Yes. It's like getting your stuff out of your closet and clearing it for new stuff, right?
Exactly. When we make space for money, then money wants to come to us. So that's what it's all about. And this checklist that I have for everybody is it's really just wonderful. It's got some very practical ways you can do immediately. They only take a couple of seconds. And it also has a couple of the ontological things you can do to clear your mind from the emotional clutter of money.
Well, it's definitely very useful because 2015 is, you know, here, and, you know, it's a great way to clean out closet or clean up the muddy clutter, right? So it's perfect timing.
And we have lots of ways to do it too, so I'm excited for everybody to see that.
Yes. So what is the second secret?
Well, the second secret, and again, what are we doing? We're clearing away debt, fat, and stress, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because they're all related. Well, the second secret is what I call the cortisol connection. High stress, whether it's from money or from relationships or whatever, maybe it's from your business, it creates and calls upon the fight or flight hormone, and that's what cortisol is.
Okay.
So the high stress producing the cortisol physically tells the body to retain fat. It's in case of an emergency, our bodies are programmed that way from way, way back when we were first created, and our bodies work really well because when we're under stress, it holds on to the fat, and that's because of that cortisol. And so if you think back to earlier times when a saber-toothed tiger was trying to chase somebody, or when we were afraid of a long winter with not enough food or whatever, our body was doing its job by producing cortisol and retaining the fat. But it doesn't do us any good because now we don't have saber-toothed tigers and we don't have fear of famine or other predators or things like that. But our body's still working the same way. So what we've got to do is we've got to reduce the stress and the cortisol in order to release the fat. And remember that as we release fat, it also it improves our wealth as well, as we talked about a little bit earlier. So there are several different ways that we can reduce that production of cortisol. And this is where the secret to wealth comes in, is to actually reduce the stress. So we've got what? Exercise, meditation, deep breathing, changing your lifestyle, changing your attitude, asking for help, connecting with others. These are all great ways to help reduce stress. And when you do reduce the stress, then your wealth and your weight situation get a lot better. And it's not always easy because we're programmed to be stressed out all the time. And so it's a habit to change, and that's where the ontological part comes in, is actually changing those beliefs, changing your lifestyle. But the very first step that people can take right away is simply getting more exercise and taking more breathers in between their work schedule.
Would reducing stress reduce the cortisol?
Yes, it reduces the cortisol. Yes, it all does. And by the way, I have a little, another little giveaway that we didn't even talk about, you and I, but I have a little free video called Busting Out of Your Genes, and this gives 3 great tips for helping people to combat that stress.
Right.
So
yes,
if they go to my website,
yeah,
it's at janispullen.com, and if they just go there, they can find that. Busting Out of Your Genes is the name of it. I didn't talk about it here because this is a wealth series, but if anyone is struggling with weight and with stress, the Busting Out of Your Genes video will help you.
Oh, perfect. Thanks for sharing that.
It's free. Yeah, it's free.
No, I definitely, and I will also, at the end, we can, repeat those gifts that you have along with the links so that our listeners can write it down.
Yeah.
And
great.
The last secret, the third secret.
Oh, this is about debt. Debt.
Nice.
If I was in a room, I'd say, let me see a show of hands. How many of you are in debt? And I would guess that the majority of people would have debt. So it can cause stress, of course, but let me tell you what the real problem is, and this is where the secret lies for secret number 3. It's debt denial destruction. And what I mean by that is when we go into denial about it, it's very, very destructive. Being in denial about money and debt, it's like carrying around a deep, dark secret. It festers at an unconscious level, and it eats away at our self-esteem and our self-worth. And while that secret is eating away at you, it also eats away at your health and your well-being. And so you try to feel better by self-medicating. Maybe you spend too much money for comfort spending. Maybe you eat too much of the wrong thing for comfort eating. And maybe you overdrink, or maybe you have some other thing that you do to try to self-medicate. And it's because we're trying not to look at this secret that we're carrying around with about all of the debt. So you self-medicate, you buy yourself a new outfit, or you have, your wine, or you eat your chocolate cake or whatever you're doing, and you feel better for a little while, but then the guilt and the remorse set in. And a lot of times it's at the unconscious level. So what we want to do with this secret is to bust apart secret number 3, debt, denial, destruction. We want to bust apart the secrecy. And in my Weight of Money breakthrough programs, we talk about getting clear about what do we owe people. So one little step that people can take right away is that, and this is going to help them to get debt-free as well, they can tell the truth about their debt and then practice a lot of compassion. Because we didn't go into debt on purpose. We did it for reasons that we may not even understand. But if you tell the truth, and the way to tell the truth is just to list everything that you owe, how much is it, and why did you purchase it in the first place. That's the first step to actually undoing this secret. Because when it's out in the open and you share it, then it no longer attacks you from the inside out. Now you are empowered, and you know you can take the next step to doing something about it. So it's all about shining the light on that debt and having it be actually out in the open instead of covered in darkness.
Right. Just being honest with yourself, and it's also a challenge for a lot of people just to be, and that's why they're in the 3D.
And that's why your program is so valuable, Shirley, with your financial tips that you're giving people, because you're helping them to know what to do and to bring it into the light and not have it be a secret. It's really awesome that you're doing that.
Thank you. But it's also, I think, a lot of people don't realize are also in the same boat. It becomes secret, but everyone's living that, and when they start seeing everyone else maybe in the same, they're more willing to be more honest with themselves, and then that's when breakthroughs happen, when you're honest.
Exactly. And that's why people hire financial coaches, so that they don't have to face this all alone. Sharing this secret with somebody you trust and then getting the support to get out of it, that is what is so very valuable. So it's really awesome that we have so many wonderful financial coaches and money coaches out there.
A lot of people, they feel uncomfortable talking to the people they know. So having a financial coach or having a mentor is very important, because, if they told their friends, they may feel like I'm being judged. And so having that third party or the person that may not be that connected, you can be more honest with yourself, and you can release, I guess when you hold secrecy, it's like you said, it's destructive. And you can be more open with those people, with the coaches and the mentors.
Yeah. Right.
So this is great information. So will you summarize the 3 tips for us?
Oh, yes, I'd love to. So these 3 tips are the ones that we spoke about in detail about melting your debt, your fat, and your stress, and you can start right now. The first one is to download the Clearing Your Money Clutter checklist, and that will help you to start clearing your money clutter to make space for the wealth to come in. And it's an ontological thing that helps with the mindset as well as helping with the physicality of the money. The second tip that they could take immediately is regarding the cortisol connection, and that is to be intentional about reducing your physical reaction to stress. You can do it with just a few minutes of exercise or 10 minutes of quiet time, but the important thing is to start implementing those into your schedule. And if you want to watch the video, it's very short, 3-part video, Busting Out of Your Genes. Just go to Janis Pullen, JanisPullen.com, and that'll give you more on how to reduce this cortisol connection. The third secret was getting out of debt denial. And that secret and that tip is to list all of your debt, and in other words, have it be on a sheet of paper. Tell the truth to yourself, and then share it with at least one more person, either your financial coach or your regular coach or your partner or someone, so that you begin to bring that out into the open.
That's a very good summary. And you mentioned that, couples can help and hinder or hurt each other in these areas. Can you elaborate this?
Yes, that was a little bonus thing I wanted to share, because a lot of times, for instance, with the secrecy part of debt denial, one partner won't want to share with the other how much debt they've incurred. And so when that happens and you hold that secret, that actually makes it worse and eats away. On the other hand, if you take that same example, and this happened to one of my clients recently, the wife was the one who was buying clothes on television and charging the credit card and not telling her husband. And she would get the bill in the mail and she would just try to pay it. But then the bill got really, really big because it was like it was getting to the point of addiction almost, you know what I mean? So what I had her do was to list everything down and to list why did she purchase it, and some of the things were valuable purchases. They were really they were valid, in other words, they did need a new whatever it might be. They did need that. And some of the things were just from emotional spending. And so when she got clear on that and she shared it with me, then her next step was to share it with her husband. And truth be told, he was a lot more compassionate than she expected, and it relieved her greatly of that financial stress because together they could work out a plan for how to pay it off. And he was much more understanding than she would have gathered, but she was really digging a pit for herself when she was keeping it a secret. The same thing with the stress-related cortisol. Couples can work together in working out. They can share ideas on how to relax together, or they can be fighting with each other and making it worse. So that's how, when I talk about couples can either make it worse or they can make it better for each other, this is an area to look at because your partner or your spouse or your significant other, they can help you in these areas if you talk to them, if you communicate. They can also, in terms of weight, a lot of my weight loss clients do much better when both the husband and the wife come to the coaching calls together. Otherwise, the wife goes on a food program and the husband brings home chocolate candy. Well, what good does that do?
Yeah. Well, they have to be on the same page, and they have to both agree, and they have to agree to doing it together. And it also builds the relationship, better trust.
It does. It does. I have actually a current couple of mine who's in my Ontological weight loss coach certification and training program. They did the weight loss program together, and they both lost. One of them lost about 42 pounds. The other one lost about 50 pounds. And they liked that so well, and they were so helpful for each other that both of them joined the OWL Weight Loss Coach Certification and Training Program to become weight loss coaches together. So that's a great example about how couples can actually help and support each other, not only in the weight loss portion, but now they're building a business together.
Yes, that's exactly correct. And I mean, if they start talking to each other and, like you said, going to a coach and working on it together, they can both succeed and actually build a stronger relationship, for sure.
Yes, definitely. Yes, very, very well put.
So where can people find more about you, and how can they reach out to you?
Oh, thank you for asking. My webpage is janispullen.com. So that's Janis, P as in Paul, Ullen, janispullen.com. People usually misspell Janice. That's why I spell it. So Janis. And
yes.
on that page, they can learn more about my expertise and my programs in wealth, which is the money, and the weight of money is one of those integral programs. And weight, which is the ontological weight loss, the acronym is OWL. And then, of course, the leadership, which when we combine them all together, that's my coach training programs that I do.
Right. No, you provided us tons of information, great information today, and
Oh, wait 1 minute. May I interrupt you? I forgot that the clearing the money clutter checklist is not very easy to find. So let me give you a specific link for that, because they would have to dig around on the website. So that website link for the clearing the money clutter checklist, it's www.weightofmoney.com. Weightofmoney.com, all together.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and then the busting out of your jeans is on the Janis Pullen website.
Okay, perfect. So again, it's the weightofmoney.com is where you can enjoy your clearing the money clutter checklist that you have that's offered to all the audience that's listening today. And I will also post it up on my site just so that people can come back, and if they forgot it, they can always find your information, as well as I'll put your janispullen.com so that they can have they can reach out to you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Janis. Like I said, you've offered us tons of great information, and thank you for being on the series with us. And I wanted to thank all the audience who's listening today, and thank you for joining us, and hope to talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.